Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide to the stone productions that are new with Kinleg and the farming simulator Highlands Fishing Expansion. You should be able to use these on any map as long as you have the Highlands Fishing Expansion activated. So yeah, and I have two of them placed out here, which you can go into the store to buy them. The Stonemason's $350,000 to buy, and then the Stone Quarry is $235,000 to buy, and you can place that anywhere. There are some already located on the map on Kinleg, at least. If we go over here, right there we have the Quarry, so you can visit this. Quarry right here, which we've seen screenshots of this. It's tucked away into the mountain here. You can purchase it for $235,000. And the Stonemason, where's the Stonemason at? Is it up here? Yeah, there we are. Stonemason's up the road up here. You can purchase the Stonemason if you'd like to purchase it on the map. Instead of place your own for $350,000. But I'm going to use the ones I have placed down here to make my life just a little bit easier. So yeah, these are pretty straightforward. This isn't a guide on how to make productions work for you or anything like that. This is just a look at how these productions specifically work. And we're going to look at, the new products that are created. In addition to that, we're going to look at their profitability. So one of the reasons to make these products here is you need them to rebuild the castle on the map if you wanted to do that. That's one way to do it. Now, one thing I actually haven't checked, which we're just going to check right now, because why not? Let's go to the warehouse and see if you can buy any of these new products. So you can buy all the onion stuff. Let's see, roof shingles, castle stones. We're talking about making those, so you can buy those. And big stones, you also can buy those. Now, that's pretty expensive for any of those products in here. Those are all pretty pricey prices, but yeah, so there we go. That's good to know. We can buy them. If you don't want to do this stuff, you don't have to. But honestly, these guys are pretty profitable and they're pretty straightforward. These aren't complicated productions. They're pretty easy to use. So first off, the quarry itself just requires water. 1 water to 25 big stones. That's really easy. I assume you're able to get water for free from like a river or something like that, which you can on this map. And so I'm assuming that the value for that is 0, but we'll talk about that more with profitability. So you have the wrench here if you wanted to get into it yourself, or you can hit it in the production menu. This is where your big stones are going to spawn. This is where you put water in, which I'm just going to use the new Can-Am here. We're going to put some water in this bad boy. There we go. You can see that lift off the ground, the suspension, as we get rid of that weight. There we go. So now we got some water in there, easy peasy. This probably is a little too big for this guy here, but that's okay. Okay, now we got some water in there. All we have to do is activate this. I'm going to have it set to storing. And now we're going to fast forward some time, see what we get. Shouldn't take us too long to get some stones out here. There we go. We got our first pallet of big stones. If we fast forward some time really fast, we'll get a lot of stones, easy peasy. And we still have water in there, plenty of water. It doesn't take that long you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't take very much water, so that's one of the nice things about this. But yeah, okay. So now we got some big stones. You can't lift them by yourself, obviously. It makes sense. I'm going to use super strength to lift these guys so you can move this. And now for the stonemason over here, the only input that this requires is these big stones. So I put that in there. That's the endpoint right there. You have the access to the production there, and this is where your products are going to spawn. So if we go in here, which I'm actually just going to let's just put some more big stones in here real quick. Let's go mods DLC big stone. Let's just put a bunch of big stones in here so I don't have to worry about it. There we go. If we go into the production menu here, big stones holds up to 100,000 liters, and you can set this over here to distributing, and then they will automatically go into here, which is awesome. So big stones in there. We have 2 recipes here, 53 big stones to 42 castle stones, and then 53 big stones to 35 roof shingles. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now, one thing I am going to check and see if this is a divided production or not. So theoretically, this should make 168 times 42 divided by 24. It should make 294 castle stones every hour. And then for roof shingles, it should make, well, let's see, 35 times 168 divided by 24. It should make 245 every hour. So now we're going to see if we get, after an hour, if we actually have those numbers. And if we don't, then that means it's a divided production. It's not going to produce that effectively. So let's fast forward our time here. Let's get us through the hour real quick. Right about there, that's perfect. All right, so we have 159 castle shingles and 132 roof shingles, which means that, or castle stones and roof shingles, which means this is a divided production. So if you don't know what that means that if we go back to our, back to this here, if we have both of these activated, they're only going to each run at half capacity. If you have one activated, it'll run at full capacity, which is fine, but it's just important to note. So now let's go ahead and speed up time until we get some of our first pallets out here. Excited about that to see what these guys look like. Let's just get to the next day here. We should get a couple pallets by then. And there we go. We'll stop. It's a nice, beautiful day out. And look at that. We got some castle stones, some roof shingles. The pallets honestly look really well done, to be honest. But yeah, so I like that part of it. But there you go. And obviously you can't lift these by hand. You have to use forklifts or equipment or front loaders or whatever. And they're probably quite heavy, which makes sense. So, and then you can take them and you can move them to, well, your castle points or whatever if you're building the castle, or you can sell them for a nice little profit. Which, speaking of profit, let's go ahead and take a look at the profitability for these guys. Let me get to our production sheet here. So here we go. We have the Quarry down here at the bottom. Big stones is the product that we're trying to make. Water is the input item. 360 cycles per month. 1 liter of water, which costs $0, assuming a used value of $0 per 1,000 liters. That's what I have in here for the calculation. And then down here, and by the way, this is linked in the description below if you wanted to see this. I have all of our values that I'm using here. This is all normal economy based as well, just so you know. And then we're making 25 big stones, which are worth about $12.90. Profit per cycle is $12.73 because that's including the fact that it costs $60 a month to run this facility. So if you put 360 liters of water in every month, you'll get 9,000 liters of big stones. Now, if you sell those big stones, you'll make $4,500 profit every month if you just sell them. Now, if we move on down here to make castle stones, there are 168 cycles of each of these, and they each require 53 liters of big stones in, which is going to cost about that. So this is if you were to sell those 53 big stones separately, this is what you would get. So that's how we're comparing the profitability. Then if you look over here, profit per cycle, profit per month, you're making a pretty good amount of money. So on top of this profit that you're getting here, you're also going to be making this if you make the stones. So potentially you can be making about 20,000-ish, a little under that a month in profit by just doing the stone productions. And it doesn't require that much stone to be put in here. 1 stone quarry will run 1 stonemason at full capacity. And you don't have too many pallets to move every month either, which is also quite nice. So yeah, that is the profitability. It works out really well. The used values are over here. So if you do download like a copy of this or make a copy of this for yourself that you can edit, I don't let people obviously edit my own copy, but if you make a copy of it and edit it, you can edit in different values into any of these, and it will reflect on the main production sheet. You can see I've done all of the different stuff for the new Highlands DLC at this point now as well. So yep, all good stuff there. I have videos out on all the other ones as well. So yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, there you guys go. That is the stone productions for the Highlands Fishing Expansion, which these will work on every map, by the way, as long as you have the Highlands Fishing Expansion activated. So there you go. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.